Hey, Barry, before we go there, I just wanted to just go back, if you'd indulge me for a moment, on this vehicle that you have, because I think there's actually a much larger story to be discussed about semi-liquid vehicles, not just in the REIT space, but as you know, Blackstone and others are talking about creating these semi-liquid vehicles for retail, effectively, in private equity, and so many other things. This type of vehicle could very well be the future of the kind of things that investors are going to move into. And the question I think that this raises is whether these type of vehicles and the structure of these vehicles are good, whether this is a good model in the future. I understand things that are completely liquid, and I understand things that are not liquid at all. Those things make a lot of sense to me. The semi-liquid model, which sort of tells the investor that you can get out when you want to get out, but by the way, maybe you can't get out, is a more complicated one. And it also creates this sort of unique conundrum, which is if people do want to get out and you actually let them out, all of a sudden there is a fire sale on those assets because you have to somehow pay them, or you have to go find new investors the way Blackstone did, effectively, to replace the old investors. And that unto itself seems like a broken, or I don't know if it's broken, but a very complicated situation. So just
small
talk
investors,
us through this, because it could very well be the future of all of this.
You have the spectrum. You have public stocks, daily liquidity. You have private equity funds. You can get out in 7 years, and if you want to trade your interest on the secondary market, you're probably taking a big discount, right? So in the middle are these non-traded REITs, which are supposed to peg value and offer monthly liquidity, though nobody should think they should use them as an ATM. And I think this probably highlights that they're in the spectrum, right? You should have some liquidity, but the risk is everybody gets out at once. And you've seen this before, Andrew. You've seen this in all the hedge funds. Hedge funds decide to shut, they gate, they say we're not going to liquidate these positions that are illiquid. They have preferreds and bonds, and they just want to sell them at the right price, and they don't want to have a fire sale. So, but those usually in the hedge fund world are liquidations. I mean, this isn't liquidation. You know, this is just when do we bring assets to market if you have a theory of when will be the best time to realize good pricing. And we have the luxury of being able to take our time to sell assets and don't want to. The only people selling assets, transaction volumes across the world are still down 70%. There are no trades. So the only one who's trading is a mortgage coming due, and if they can't find somebody to rescue them, they'll sell it. And the banks also are selling buildings in what are called short sales. So they said, the loan is bad on the office building. There was a building in Florida. It was a $100 million asset. The loan was 53, and they sold it straight. They asked the borrower to sell it for them. It's called a short sale. He sold it for $43 million. The bank just said, get me cash. I don't want to have a non-performing mortgage, office mortgage.
Where are our prices at this point for things that are selling?
So at every time there's a crisis, there's a bid-ask spread. Buyers want a bargain. Sellers want yesterday's prices. And today, I'd say the gap between prices, which let's say apartments were 5 and the seller wants a 4.5 or 4 3/4 or 5.5. The spread's coming in, which means the markets are healing. The future's getting clearer, and particularly for apartments. So we're going to build 600,000 apartments this year. We're going to build 400,000 next year, 230 the year after, and 227. So this is my problem with Powell, right? His policy has now crushed multifamily starts. We need houses. We have a huge housing. So with only 220,000 houses coming in 26, I will guarantee you rents will go up in 26, unless there's a massive recession.